All right, hopefully your homework went well because we're going to very quickly just do a little brief add-on to your homework last night. If you are able to do all your trig stuff, this is taking the trig stuff and applying it to word problems. Now, the one thing that you need to understand are two phrases. One is angle of elevation. Okay, let's say you're looking straight at the horizon and you want to look at the sun above it. If you are raising your eyes, which you would raise your eyes from the horizon up to the sun, this is what we call the angle of elevation. You are elevating your eyes. Versus, if you are looking at something on the ground, let's say there's a box on the ground, if you are lowering your eyes, this is called the angle of depression. Okay, so those are two terms that you're going to need to be able to do the word problems in this section. This entire section has to do with word problems, so don't get bent out of shape about it. We're going to just work through a few word problems, and then I'm going to give you your assignment. If you look in your book on page 371, example number 1, it says the peak of Goose Bay Mountain is 400 meters higher than the end of an airstrip. Okay, so basically you've got this mountain over here, and you have an airstrip down here, and this right here is 400 meters. Okay, the peak rises above a point 2,025 meters from the end of the airstrip. Okay, so here's the beginning of the airstrip. This is 2,025 meters. Okay, an airplane takes off at the end of the runway in the direction of the mountain at an angle that is kept constant until the peak has been cleared. If the pilot wants to clear the mountain by 50 meters, what should the angle of elevation be for the takeoff to the nearest 10th degree? All right, so the plane's going to take off, and it wants to clear the mountains by 50 meters. Okay, so this is 50 meters. What I'm looking for is that angle of elevation right there. So if you will, I am standing right there where the plane takes off. This is opposite, this is adjacent, so I'm going to have to use tangent. So the tangent of question mark, don't know what that angle is equal to opposite, which is going to be 450 meters, over adjacent, which is going to be 2,025 meters. Remember, if you are trying to find an angle, which in this case you are, you're going to have to use inverse. So I'm going to use the inverse tangent of 450 divided by 2,025. So I'm going to pick up my calculator. I'm going to press inverse tangent of 450 divided by 2,025 in the parentheses. It's going to give me 12.5 degrees. So that's the angle that the plane would have to take off at. Okay? So you're going to have types of problems like that. You're going to have types of problems that have to do with, I don't know, let's look at another one. Some of them are direct, some of them are indirect, and you have to work through a couple problems to solve one answer. Let's say you've got a tailgate. Okay, here's your tailgate, and it is of a moving van. It's 3.5 meters above the ground. So this is 3.5. Here's my tailgate. Okay. A loading ramp is attached to the rear of the van at an incline of 10 degrees. So this right here is 10 degrees. It's attached to that, but that would make this 10 degrees too, because they are alternate interior angles. It says find the length of the ramp, which is that right there. So if I'm standing right here, I know opposite, I want to know hypotenuse, so that is sine. This time I know the angle. The sine of 10 degrees equals 3.5 over x. Gonna multiply both sides to get x off the bottom, so I have x times the sine of 10 degrees is equal to 3.5, and then I would have to divide both sides by the sine of 10 degrees. So, I pick up my calculator. 3.5 divided by the sine of 10 degrees is going to give me x equals 20.2. Now I think it was meters, it might have been feet, okay? So the ramp is going to be 20.2 feet long. Okay, then you have one, and this will be the last one that we do, and then I'll give you your homework to work on, because it's all about word problems and all about the homework you had the day before. This next one is what we call an indirect measure. The biggest key on this is getting them drawn out correctly. This is example 3 on page 372 that we're going to work through. Olivia is in a lighthouse, okay, so I've got like this mountain and I've got this lighthouse on top of the mountain. This is 85 feet, and the cliff here is 110 feet. And basically there are 2 sailboats, okay, now you know my artwork is not great, so here are my 2 sailboats, all right? And here's the rest of the problem. It says she observes 2 sailboats due east of the lighthouse. The angle of depression to the 2 boats are 37 degrees and 57, or 33 degrees and 57 degrees. Obviously, the smaller angle is your 33 degrees. Your larger angle, which is this angle, is going to be your 57 degrees. It says find the distance between the 2. So what I'm looking for is that x right there. So I can make these into right triangles. If that's 33 degrees, this is 33 degrees. If this is 57, this is 57. So basically what I'm trying to find out is my distance here. I know what my distance there is. So if I use tangent on both, so I have the tangent of 33 degrees is equal to, when I add those together, that's going to be 195 over, now that's going to be my whole distance. Let's just call that whole distance y. So it's under y. So I'm going to work my way through it, and I'll shortcut it here. I'm going to multiply both sides by y, then I'll divide by the tangent. So I have 195 divided by the tangent of 33 degrees. So 195 divided by the tangent of 33, it's going to give me y is equal to 300.3 feet. Okay, so that's this whole space, 300.3 feet. Okay, then I'm going to do this space right here. We'll call that z. Okay, so I have the tangent of 57 degrees is equal to 195 over z. So z is going to equal to 195 divided by the tangent of 57. So 195 divided by the tangent of 57 is going to give me 126.6. To find x, or the distance between those 2 sailboats, I just subtract. 300.3 minus 126.6, and I find that the distance here, which is what I'm looking for, is 173.7 feet. Okay, and that was what they were asking. All right, so do the best job you can. We're going to work through, I'm going to give you an assignment. They're all word problems based on what you have done for your homework for today. So page 374, I want you to do do 8 through 18 all, and hopefully by next week we'll be back in the swing of things and be back in class together.